Today we're going to be looking at INDIS, the Sage of Order, one of my favourite free-to-play heroes of all time, and we're going to be going over the skills, talent pages, the pairings, everything you need to know with this brand new, up-to-date powerhouse for free-to-play. So let's get into today's guide. Hello everyone, yes, smash a like, comment and subscribe for more daily videos. Me, MrSneakyy, the one and only. We're here on Call of Dragons, talking about one of my favourite heroes, INDIS. I have raved about her for so many seasons now, and everyone's jumping on a hype train because she has been granted some damage factor on her skill, as well as all the powerhouse skills that we're going to go over. But I do want to just break down this first skill for you guys, because it does have a mistyped error here. Even in my video where I thought this was on for 3 seconds, me being a rookie, didn't fully test the video, and we did go and do some testing. And if you look, as of today of this recording, on the 30th of I want to say June, we're in yeah, we're in June. You can see we're able to trigger the infirm of INDIS, right? It's only just up at the top part, right? And you can see Darkling Heavy Captured, Legion gained the infirm effect for 2 seconds. It doesn't state for 3 seconds. So this is a text error on the hero. Even though the infirm says 2 to 3, it isn't the case. It's just 2 to 2 seconds still. The only difference here is the damage increase from 400 to 600, right? So with that cleared up, let's go over all of her skills, right? Because she is a really good hero. She's gonna do 600 damage directly to the target area. That's going to do a nice diffused damage to nearby legions, as well as inflicting infirm, which is all damage taken is increased by 20% for 2 seconds here, and giving you the healing factor of 450. So really good when you awaken this skill. She is powerhouse now, definitely doing some good damage, some good healing, and obviously still applying the infirm. We'll see if this gets changed or she gets changed in the future. So if it does, I do apologize in advance. But now we have a gathering talent. We don't have to go too much over this. This just gives you better gathering speed on your skills. And now one of the better skills, 20% HP bonus, as well as a 7% maximum legion capacity bonus. This is so good, guys. The amount of stats you get here, honestly, is unreal. One of the highest HP bonuses in the entire game, making your troops super tanky, honestly. And in conjunction to that, we have Purge, which is a 50% counter-attack damage reduction and removing one buff effect every 8 seconds, which is amazing, right? So every 8 seconds this is going to trigger, reducing the counterattack damage taken for 5 and removing one of the debuffs effects. So good, guys. If you've got any sort of defense break, it could potentially come off. Any attack reductions, it can come off. Movement speed reductions, it can come off. And 50% counterattack reduction means, again, even if as a T4 player you hit that T5, if you was expecting to take nearly 2,000, 3,000 a turn, it's not going to be that. It's only going to be 1,000 to 1,500, and it does feel a lot better than seeing your march as a melt within seconds, right? So really good actual hero here with all of our skills we have to our disposal. When you do Awakener, just to go back over that, all that changes is the damage factor from 400 to 600, as well as the healing factor from 350, guys, to 450. So just remind yourselves that, because obviously of this current error, that we will just remind you one last time here that it is in effect for 2 currently, and this is with my own INDIS. So what pairings do you go with INDIS, you're probably asking. And the cool thing with INDIS being an overall hero, she's really good with a lot of heroes. However, I've noticed personally she's really good, obviously trying to be that support based hero for mages or infantry. So they're the two infantry, or they're the two pairings I am going to suggest, right? So the first ones we're going to go over are mage pairings. So INDIS has a variety of pairings. Some people, to be honest, do like the super heals of INDIS and Pan, especially now with this also healing your own troops or your own legion. Really, really nice. You get, again, some really good reductions and probability to remove another debuff effect when getting hit by normal attacks. So this is actually a really crazy support match that, you know, supports the front lines with mages. A better one that I personally believe in is the Alwyn and INDIS. This one's a really good budget option because this just basically allows you to slow down targets, put in snares onto them, put them infirm triggers on, and they are just getting absolutely shredded by your opponents. You can go down the control tree as well with your Alwyn to either take ambush or tremble to either reduce their attack or reduce their defense. It's up to you which one you want to go, and both of these heroes are really good. Waldia is also another option because Waldia is basically what I'm going to consider the budget option to the best mage combo with INDIS, and this is a really good budget option of that because you get a really powerful AoE effect that isn't diffused, so you're dealing 700 damage across all of those targets. They're taking 20% more, meaning this is 840 damage, guys, across 3 targets, which is kind of nuts. Then you've got your attack increase and HP increase, and now you've got a 30% HP bonus. You have a 50% hero skill damage bonus, which is definitely nice now for INDIS and your Waldia, and you get a shield factor, so you're even more tankier between the fight. This is a really powerful hero in the meta, especially with INDIS. I would definitely not look upon, you know, not using Waldia. Let's just say that is a really good mage hero. However, the best mage hero that you can run is going to be Valen, though. Valen INDIS has been proven to be absolutely exceptional. Honestly, this March combo is perfect for each other because it kind of does exactly what the Waldia one does, but it deals more damage. You get even more skill damage plus march speed with skill crit, which is even crazier. But then on top of this, guys, you do magic defense reductions. And with Valen Primary, you can go down that magic tree, take magic maelstrom, and you also have 2 ways of stripping defenses. So with him, plus obviously this extra little bit of damage that you get, you're not really freezing too many targets apart from obviously yourself on Valen. But Valen with INDIS works so good. The Infirm together, all of these different types of debuffs that you're able to apply all at once is kind of cracked. I'm going to admit it's kind of cracked. So you can see there with the mage parents, those are the ones I am honestly gonna suggest. If you want to try other ones, you can. I have super good success with my INDIS and Lilia. As you guys know, I had over like 40k merit report with this one match as a T4 going against T4 and T5. So it just showcases the power of this hero, right? Now, infantry. And infantry is really good with INDIS again because INDIS and infantry kind of do the perfect combo where she heals a ton. She allows the infantry technically to win the 1v1 in the front line. And on top of this, right, you have that 50% counter-attack damage reduction, which is what all of the different types of infantry masters love, and cutting that down by 50% is a game changer when it comes into this. So when it comes to INDIS, honestly, I have tried a variety of different heroes. I do need to try some of the brand new changes, so I am not gonna include Bakar yet. Bakar and INDIS could be potentially a really good free-to-play option due to the change of the new AoE effect, as well as the 50% guaranteed now of the bleed attack when they have that on, plus they're taking infirm, and you're reducing the amount of attack they have by 25%. It's not bad, guys, at all. So this could be potentially a really good free-to-play infantry option. However, Eliana and INDIS is going to be scary. scary. The 30% defense bonus with 30% normal attack reduction, and we get a 500 shield with 200 damage split across both sides, and we heal on top of all the stuff INDIS does as a infantry unit anyway. Really good, super budget option. I actually think this is one of the best budget options you could probably run now, Eliana and INDIS. You're going to be surprised on how good it is. However, when we go now up into the actual legendary based heroes, I really do like Garwood. Garwood and INDIS is a fantastic combo, as you can imagine. The fact that you're healing through INDIS because you're fighting as an infantry unit, so this move generally does get targeted on you and the targets surrounding you, it will allow you to trigger that physical damage dealt bonus by getting healed from her. And the fact that you've got two sources of heals now that can definitely trigger this, I actually think it's a really, really powerful combo, right? Especially you get that extra skill damage. Again, we have 20% damage taken reduction in conjunction to that beautiful 50% counter attack. You can see why she's actually a really good infantry-based hero. Same with Madeline. Madeline and INDIS is basically, I think, a better version and almost than Madeline Garwood. It's a more aggressive version than tanking, and that's why I actually prefer it, right? Because you are increasing even the damage of Madeline's skill 4. You are becoming super tanky because you're healing while you're shielded. You have a bunch of different stats that you're gaining, including, again, 15% infantry HP bonus, which is so good. If you're looking at some of the newer heroes, I have tried them out with Skogul and Goresh. And the thing is, with Goresh, I actually really liked this combo, again, for the same reasons. Even though Goresh really does like having a Goresh Skogul matchup, INDIS with your Goresh is just super tanky still, and it will increase, as you can imagine, that 200 skill damage factor just like the Madeline. So it's actually a not too bad option, that the fact that you're reducing damage taken, again, with her healing, which is really nice, that you're getting that small bit of healing on top, and 50% counter attack damage reduction, and that 20% HP bonus. So with infantry and with mages, I do think INDIS gets the most out of it. However, you can use INDIS, honestly, with any heroes. Without making this video too long, you can put it with archer heroes. You can put with cavalry heroes, right? In the cavalry tree, I would always make sure your INDIS is always the deputy to someone like a Alistair would be a really good example. Just so you've got her on the field for that debuffing effect would be a really good one for your Alistair. And even when it comes to archers, something like Craig, INDIS and Craig, really good because they both AoE, again, abilities. You allow that infirm to be applied, making, again, Craig's AoE do even more bleed damage, and then all of your archers in conjunction are going to do even more damage, right? Because of the infirm and the support from her. So that's honestly all the parents I'm happy to go over. As you can see, we've gone through quite a lot there. There's a lot of information, but you can see being an overall hero and being honestly one of the best heroes now with the actual changes in the game, people are going to need her and they're going to have to unlock her, especially as a free-to-play and low spender. So when it comes to, obviously, your artifacts and your war pets, it's going to be a little bit tricky because, honestly, when it comes to INDIS, guys, I actually prefer INDIS a lot of the time as a deputy. I don't like her as a primary hero because normally if you see a INDIS as a primary, she gets instantly focused down, which is kind of a really bad thing to see. It's kind of similar when you see Aetherfleds in the open field for Rise of Kingdoms. They get super focused down too. So I kind of like her personally in the deputy slot. However, I am going to showcase some artifacts, war pets, and 2 different talent pages if you decide to make a primary. And these are going to be, again, 1 page for infantry players, 1 page for mage players, and we'll just go over the artifacts and war pets now. So artifact-wise, I actually like using, again, depending on the match, it will depend on the artifact. So if you're running something like Madeline with your Indis, I actually like Dragon Scale Armor. Again, Eliana with Indis and Dragon Scale Armor is an absolute powerhouse. You get an insane amount of HP and damage reduction. You get 3,900 shield, guys, 10% extra attack. And the powerhouse of this is the fact that, because with Madeline or with your Eliana, the fact that she grants a shield through the skill, we are now gaining a 15% range resistance bonus for 5 seconds. So if I didn't tell you how tanky this match can potentially be, I don't know what's wrong with you. It is crazy how with infantry, Indis, Madeline, Indis, Eliana, Dragon Scale Armor. If you're running something like Madeline with obviously Gresh or maybe Garwood or Bakar, I would run something more down the line like Greymar's Warhammer or even Spiritbone Talk and even the Fang of Ashakari. This is like 3 defensive or offensive, you know, types of artifacts that are honestly all-stars and do different benefits for your infantry. It is down to preference which one you prefer to use for which marches. When it comes to mages, however, I actually like my mage artifacts with only 2. Only 2, guys. There's 2 artifacts. I don't care who you are. Run these 2. So if you're running any mage, this could be Indis Valen, Indis Waldea, you name it, whatever mage, always bring Tear of Arbor. This thing is so good on your march. It just makes you unkillable. Literally. You will be your Valen Indis Tear of Arbor maxed out. I'm telling you guys, you heal so many troops over time, and the defense and damage reduction just makes this march just the last mage match to generally die out of your murder balls. So I would definitely recommend using this. But this is the defensive option, right? Tear of Arbor allows you to heal your mages and your marches, allowing you to sustain in the field. However, if you have access to it, the Breath of Gigantes with your Indis is again just backbreaking. If you can time it perfectly, where the Breath of Gigantes lands, defense breaks them for 20 seconds, and then your skill damage and infirm all gets applied after, the amount of damage you pump out then with all of your marches on those targets is just unreal. Absolutely unreal. So I would only run these 2 artifacts if I'm personally honest with you guys. If you don't have access to these ones, I would suggest for a epic artifact, something like Lakeside Rhapsody. This is a really good one again, because you are freezing quite often, again, depending with your pairings. If you're running Waldea, Valen, or Alwyn and Indis, this is going to be a really good one for you. If you're not running that, Time Bomb is just the go, right? You can go to Time Bomb. And if you really don't have anything else, Phoenix Eye. It's the last resort. It's so good that it's an AoE legendary one, but I wouldn't be using this as a priority. I would have this on more of my DPS mage marches, right? So that goes through all of the artifacts I'm going to go through. If you're using stuff, again, with your archers or cavalry, that's going to determine on the heroes you're putting her with. And I would rather put her as a deputy in most case scenarios. Now, War Pets. War Pets, again, very interesting. You can run something like the Ice Lizard here. This is more of a control build, trying to put more and more slows down onto the targets, which I kind of like. I have gone down a crit build too, where I'm just trying to increase the amount of crit damage this thing does, because it actually deals quite little. So it'd be nice to see if this actually deals a ton of damage. Other ones you can obviously bring, Sand Lizard is a really good one. Just AoE heals. You would not bring self heal. Just bring the normal stone aura with Tranquility and Divine Blessing, and obviously the frequency increase. That's all you need. Take off self-healing aura. That's going to allow your Sand Lizard to heal all your mage heroes on top of the Tear of Arbon healing, or obviously depending what artifact you bring. But really good artifact, really good war pet, should I say, to bring. And what you could bring, and I've actually tried quite a lot of, is actually the Thunder Lizard. Because the thing is, you could bring a Sapphire Drake if you really wanted to with your Valen. It's not too bad at all. But the thing is, this Thunder Lizard, for single target damage, does an absurd amount of burst. An absurd amount of burst. So if you actually got a really good Thunder Lizard, I wouldn't mind actually recommending this too. But I actually think the better ones is like that Sand Lizard. It's a really, really, really good pet to rock on here. Or the Ice Lizard for more of a control build. So, with all of that said, we're going to go through the talent pages now. There's 2 talent pages I'm going to go over, one for infantry, one for mages. And just as a reminder, guys, I do prefer INDIS as a secondary, just to remind you guys. But if you do want to run her as a primary, I've got 2 trees for you. You can run them, and they are really good trees too, especially with the brand new INDIS in the game. So let's go over to that section. So the first one we're going to go over is nicknamed Mage Dis, because obviously it's INDIS, but mages. And we're going to go through the actual beginning. Go from the beginning of things, because a lot of players don't realize with obviously gathering heroes, you do have to take Earth's Grace. It does allow her to actually level up quite quick, which is really good, because you can take this and have her in the PvP, and you're kind of getting double XP from gathering and PvP. Even though this is a very small amount, it's still something. But from here, go for the overall speed, go for the HP, guys. Just go for these if you're trying to use INDIS as a PvP hero. I'm going to be honest with you, because that's all the PvP stats you're able to grab from the foundation. And the powerful thing about her is Transforming Spirit says all units gain 1% HP, and all buff effects granted through rage skills are increased by 5%. So again, any heroes that you're using, similar to again like something like Goresh, or even Garwood, which increases your damage taken reduction by 4 or 5 seconds. That's going to now increase by 1 additional second because of this one Transforming Spirit. That's what's really good about her. And what we're going to do first in the Mage one is go down the overall tree, because the actual overall tree now is actually not too bad for Mage players exclusively, because you're able to go down the overall HP, grab 10% march speed, and are now granting 4% damage dealt. Actually feels really good on INDIS and any of the mages you're going to be putting on with her, because before it was more beneficial to have War Banner, to have the more sheer capacity to survive longer. But now having the damage, it actually is so much better to have Intimidation. And the way I play my INDIS build is I go Guardian Angel. So whenever I enter battle for 10 seconds, I reduce the damage I take by 4%. I want my INDIS, if she is getting targeted or if she's in the front line, she needs to reduce as much damage as she possibly can take, because people aren't going to target her. So I really do like this skill, and it allows me to keep going in and out of combat and just keep getting this damage reduction on my march. So I really do like Guardian Angel. From this though, we will take Strength to Strength, 1.5% flat more damage. It's going to again be really good with the Infirm on. We've got our main AoE on our obviously INDIS dealing damage, and then the guy in the back, whoever the secondary hero is, they're going to get even more damage dealt because it's 1.5% more, plus the Infirm now being applied, so they're going to hit like a truck. So I really do like Strength to Strength now being on my INDIS. And because you are using INDIS and you have access to the overall tree, one of the best talents in the game, Emergency Triage, reduce your severely wounded units by 10%. Oh boy, I love it. Just basically stop your hospital filling up as much. I actually think this is a really good talent. It just allows you to cheese her out a lot more, save yourself troops on the long run, and this is what makes her honestly a powerhouse in merits. And I'm going to showcase in the next season how good INDIS actually is for free-to-play players, even with T5. I'm going to use T5 with INDIS and a epic hero and go nuts and just showcase this is how good this hero really is because of this one talent. But the power of it is because in the overall tree, you actually get 5% less hero skill damage taken on mages, which is cracked. That is cracked, that the fact that you get all this reduction. Just remember, guys, we're taking 4% just flat damage reduce here, and now we're getting another 5% off our hero skill damage taken. So any of that mage AoE shrapnel damage we could be taking from Lilias and from Valens and so on, it's going to be less. And I love the fact it's going to be less. And the power and the final keystone of this is Thunder Fury. Whenever you cast that rage skill, you're going to gain Keen and Shelter, which is increasing your attack and defense again for 5 seconds. This is triggered every 30 seconds. It's generally on every third cast. You're generally going to be getting this off, which is not too bad anyway. And because of that, you're getting, again, a buff. So you can see here, this overall tree now a lot different compared to what I used to run. And I actually really, really like this tree for Mage INDIS. Then, once you complete that overall tree, you come over here to the support tree and you finish out becoming basically a super tank by getting another 2% HP bonus. Grant yourself some rage generation, because we personally didn't take any rage gen there. So if you technically wanted to come this way first, if you want some rage earlier, I don't mind it. If you've already got a level 50 plus and you're just looking for a talent build, it doesn't matter, right? So go here, and then I go for All Conquering. Less normal attack damage taken by 4%. So you can see my whole build is just reduce the amount of damage potential I am going to take. Because again, I am going to deal some okay damage with her. But INDIS is so powerful because of the Infirm. People really don't understand how good Infirm actually is as a debuff. It's so good for your marchers, and it allows your other marchers to get such a good trade for them. So from here, we've got Force Field. Each time your Legion gains a buff effect, their HP increases by 0.5% all the way up to 3%, which is really good. So again, we've already got 2, 4, and now this is technically gaining 7% potentially all the way from HP. Plus down here, which is another 8.2% now in total. And with the last point, I had a very hard choice. I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of different talents you could pick. But I just went down and put 0.8% hero skill damage bonus. This is a really good one, right? This is allowing you to actually just deal basically 1% almost extra damage, which is just nice to have. So this is going to be my Mage INDIS page. There's no ifs and buts, no changes. This is what I would run if you choose to put INDIS primary with any mage pair that I spoke about earlier. So that is up to you if you want to do that. I do recommend INDIS being the deputy, but it is up to you. But this is INDIS primary mage tree. Now, let's go to the infantry. Infantry tree is on the opposite side, and I like the infantry tree a little bit more because I find a little bit more, you know, kind of crazy. Let's just be honest, because you're able to get the same foundational talents here, and then you get Transforming Spirit, which is again increasing stuff like those damage taken reductions or physical attack keen boosts that you could be getting from Madeline or Garwood, Goresh, you name it. You can get all of those different boosts. Even through like Eliana, right? She grants a bunch too. So you're able to grant this again, so good from there. But on top of that, when you're playing infantry, this feels so good because you're able to get the HP, the rage generation from normal attacks, and then obviously normal attack reduction from your march. People might ask why not defense. You could go for overall defense, but I just think the normal attack is more powerful because a lot more archers and just general people target you, and that's all normal attack damage. So you can just flat out remove that, which is a straight up better. You don't need a shield unless you're going for specific heroes. That's why I've kind of gone for the normal attack. This allows you to be a lot more flexible with what infantry you bring out, and then again still force field. But when we finish this build, we go for Shrink, which is reducing our Legion's attack. So we're not trying to deal damage here. But we increase our defense by 3%, which is really nice because the next chain is Mastermind. Whenever we cast our Rage skill, our Legion has a 25%, guys, chance to gain resistance, reducing the damage they take by 5% for 5 seconds. And it can be triggered every 5 seconds. So basically, it's got a 5-second cooldown, and for 5 seconds, you can reduce all damage you take by 5%. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I really like this little combo here that you're able to get. It makes you super, super tanky. And then on top of that, take 4% less hero skill damage and finishing off the support area. Whenever we receive healing, which we will because we're playing infantry, and because we're playing infantry, that skill is going to be tied to the melee range of the infantry. So you are going to be inflicting whatever your, enemy infantry players running, they're going to take the damage and get infirmed, while your infantry and maybe whoever's in the front line with you is going to get healed as well, which is really, really cool and powerful because it will trigger Punisher, allowing you to deal a ton of damage for them. So really do like this page, depending on what matches you run, like Goward, Eliana, and technically Skogel with healing. This page is so much better because you're going to get, again, so much more Punisher triggers for this. But then when we go into the overall tree, it's pretty simple. We go down HP, march speed, and this time we just want capacity. The more infantry technically capacity we have, the better. Because we don't care about really hero skill damage or normal attack damage. What we do care about is staying on the field longer, and the more troops we have, technically our counter attack damage, normal attack damage, and technically all the other damage we need will scale because of the more troops added into our major legion. Then we will take the Guardian Angel, which is going to give us that resistance as well on top of this. And with that last 1 point, what I did was put it back into Prayer of Rescu, because this is actually 1% increase on healing on your, buff that you are already doing from INDIS. And when you try to compare this to any of the other ones, this is extra 1% healing for 10 seconds. But this is whenever you have a debuff applied. So this is just strictly bugs. It's just all the time. Same when you try and look around here. This is, again, receive healing and shield by half each. I'd rather just increase, again, my healing bonus. But Noble Contract could be 1 point if you plan to run stuff like Eliana, INDIS, Madeline, INDIS. Basically, shield and a healer together would make more sense to go Noble Contract. So that is going to be the INDIS, the infantry INDIS tree there on screen for you guys. I'll leave it there for you. Take a screenshot. I hope you enjoyed it. Now let's go back. This is the Mage one last time to finish off both talent trees. If you missed it, here it is for a quick summary. And then we are done. We have gone through all of the skills, even explained the new skill, how it works, as well as the misconception on the 3-second infirm, which is wrong, and obviously showcasing the image one last time to remind you guys. And if you've skipped through the video, you know what it's doing. It's only a 2-second infirm. But we've gone through all of the skills, we've gone through all of the talent pages there, we've gone through pairing some mages, infantry, and touched on obviously the potential with archers and cavalry. We've gone through artifacts and war pets, and obviously suggested my opinion on INDIS being more of a deputy hero. But if you want to be a primary, we've given you all of the tools in order to do so. So if you enjoyed today's video, smash like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Until the next one, stay safe, stay sneaky, peace out.